Hello my loves, I'm Ellie Frost, and on this channel we're talking about the multi-dimensional approach to rapidly and radically healing and transforming during and after narcissistic abuse. And this video is about how the narcissist was never interested in you, right? This is a really bit of a tough topic really, but let me explain. The narcissist was never interested in who you are, what's unique about you, what you want in life, your dreams, desires. Really, they weren't. What they were interested in was what they could get from you. And you might think, well, maybe they didn't get finances out of you, right? So you might think, well, I don't know what they got from me. They got your energy, they got your time, they got your attention, they got your love, if you've been a narcissist, they literally monopolize your time, because if they're not like with you, you're thinking all the time about what they're going to do next, or you might be traumatized. I'm speaking fast today, guys. You might be traumatized by what they've done. Well, you will be traumatized in that cycle. You definitely will be at some point if you're the victim of narcissistic abuse. But so we spend a lot of our time ruminating, thinking about them and being affected by them. So remember this, they weren't interested in you. Not really, not in a way that they should be if they're your partner, for example, or your parent or your friend. They're interested in what they can get from you. They are master manipulators. They siphon your energy. So it may just be energy that they've taken, but your life force, your attention matters. It's valuable. Yeah, they become the center of your world. The narcissist will always become the center of your world, right? Often for the worst possible reasons, because you're trauma bonded. We live in panic of what will happen next. We live trying to make them happy, or in damage limitation, on edge all the time, trying to mitigate what the narcissist may do, what may happen next in the relationship. But interested in you in the love bombing stage, right? And remember, love bombing doesn't have to be a big grand gesture, or it might be. But love bombing is just when they project the image of who you need and want them to be, right? They know how to behave when they want to. So they may have pretended to care about the same things as you. This is what's really hard, right? At the very beginning, a narcissist will pretend to share values with you. They'll pretend they care about the same things. They will scan you. Have you ever seen a narcissistic stare? They're literally scanning you. They're trying to mirror you. So they can mirror your responses, and they can be the projector. They can project what you need and want them to be, right? You may have met someone and thought, this is my soulmate, right? Because they know what you want. They work in the psychic realm. They know who they need to be, right, in order to present to you an illusion of who they are. But they won't be able to sustain that illusion. And pretty soon you'll start seeing the red flags, right? And you may want to ignore them because they do a good job. They do a great job at manipulating people. They're really good at it. And I talked before about when a narcissist goes to therapy, often they learn how to be better narcissists. They're more interested in becoming better at what they do than actually becoming a better human being. That's what we're dealing with here, guys. Someone who would rather get better at being a narcissist than a better human being. Yeah? So what makes you you? See, so many of us get isolated in this cycle. We drop our hobbies, we drop our friends, right? The narcissist, they encourage you to do that subliminally, even if it's just because they take up so much of your time and energy and you don't think other people will understand the relationship, which often they don't. So they were never truly interested in what you want from the relationship. They will not meet your wants and needs. A healthy relationship, you get your needs met, right? In a narcissistic relationship, everything becomes, you become what the narcissist needs and wants you to be. The narcissist gets their needs met, right? Because they basically get your energy. They get you on the hook. They can siphon your energy from you, right? So what they're interested in is what they can get from you. Now, sometimes that's clout. Sometimes, they just like to have someone there so they can show off and they can pretend they're a nice person, They could, so it's something that they could brag about, it's a really twisted sort of scenario. But basically, they care about how they look to other people. They really care about how other people perceive them. So if they look better because they're in a relationship, for example, and especially if you've got some qualities that they can brag about, then that's what they're getting from you. That's part of what they're getting from you. They're interested in what they can get from you, even if it's just your time and energy, right? but they're not truly interested in who you are. If you think about this cycle, you don't become more of yourself, you become less of yourself, you become diminished, devalued, minimized, right? Healthy relationships help you become more of you, more of your uniqueness, more expanded, more, you get braver in the right relationships to become more of who you are, right? And our journey in life is to discover who we are and to explore that and expand that. But actually, it's often the best things about us that we shut down in these relationships, right? Because we're trying to just damage limitate, yeah? Damage limitate? Limit damage, limit the possible disruption, try and keep the peace. Stonewall, grey wall, shut down. We don't want to be shut down for the rest of our lives. We want to be expanded. We want to be us. We want to find out more of who we are. We want people who encourage us and expand us and inspire us around us. Yeah? I've never been inspired, really, if I think about it, by a narcissist. I've been love bombed and thought I've met someone very important to my life, but the narcissists cannot keep up that image, that projection, that illusion that they project in love bombing, right? But really, like, if you notice, like, I remember my ex, when he bought me any presents at Christmas or birthdays, I mean, it would always be really weird. Like, I remember he built up Christmas one time and got me really excited, and then he just gave me like a couple of chocolates that he'd got from his work that they were giving away, and some tops he took back from me, like, to get a bigger size or a smaller size, I can't remember which, but he'd made out that he's really excited to give me these presents. And then, of course, he tried to traumatize me, tried to shock me by giving me tops I'd already asked him to take back and get a different size, and like these, like I don't know, odd chocolates. They weren't in a box or anything, they were just like they'd given away from work. And I'd put a lot of thought and effort into his presents, but I wouldn't necessarily minded what he gave me, but it was more that he'd built it up. He said, I can't wait to give you your presents, and it wasn't even wrapped, it was just shoved in a plastic bag, and he did it on purpose to traumatize me, right? And of course bring up all the weird emotions that we get in the narcissistic cycle, which is like guilt, because I mean, I felt a bit guilty saying that wasn't really a nice present, so but they do it on purpose, right? Because you shouldn't criticize something nice that someone's done for you. He's given you a gift, hasn't he? But I mean, it was really bad. So, but what I also noticed with him is, like, if he did ever get me anything, it had nothing to do with me. It wasn't something that I would like necessarily. It was just something to tick the box, give her something, whatever. But he wasn't interested in me, who I was at a soul level, because it would have nothing to do with me, these things. You know what I mean? Like, very rarely did he give me that much, to be honest. Well, he did sometimes, but it's more like, it wasn't that personal, is what I'm saying. It wasn't thoughtful and personal, and actually like someone that was interested in what I really like. Do you know what I mean by that? So you'll find they'll do things like that. They'll dehumanize you. They'll just ignore who you really are, because they only care about molding you into who they need and want you to be. So it's always icky around things. I remember on my birthday, like, in the morning, he didn't give me anything, and I didn't necessarily mind at that time. I was, but like, he kind of strung it out, and then he took me to the shop and said, oh, come on, we're going to buy you a present. But he made it into like a sort of chore, you know what I mean? Where he could have bought me something for my birthday a long time ago, and I just got what he wanted to get me. I was just like, I don't mind. I was in that kind of people pleasing, trying to be amenable, try not be too much bother. I was very sort of broken down and just like wanting to make him happy, and grateful for any kind of breadcrumbs I could catch. But really, like, that's not it's not that inspiring in the relationship. We want to be people, they can do small gestures, but they're actually meaningful to us if we care about those kind of things. And if we don't care about those things, they're still important. We've been trained in this cycle to minimize who we are, what we want and need, and have very low expectations from other people. And that was the problem. I had very low expectations. I would take any scraps he gave me, right? So it's not that we want to be overly demanding. We just, you can feel when someone actually is doing something to love you, and you can feel when they're just ticking a box. You know what I mean? And with him, it's just like and also he'd do things, because he was a covert narcissist, to undermine me subliminally. Like that Christmas thing was like, he was trying to undermine me, and they'll do that over and over again. I remember I suggested I was trying to repair the relationship, trying to build with a narcissist is impossible. But I remember saying, why don't we have a date night every Wednesday? Because that would, I wanted to get the closeness. And so I remember like we arranged it, for 7:30, and he made me wait 2 hours, all dressed up. He came around at well, we lived together, but like he came home really late, and then when he got in, he said he wanted to do something in the house, and he made me sit there till almost like 9:15 at night, just to undermine me. And I didn't make a fuss, because I didn't make a fuss about anything in those days, and good luck with a narcissist if you do, because they just take it as ammunition. They weaponize things to hurt you more, because the whole thing is based on a trauma bond. So if you want to join my program Sovereign, we're going to have a Q&A this month, and so you get to ask your coaching questions, your live questions. In that, check out the details in the description. I've also got, please subscribe to my mailing list, because I send out sometimes like free resources, and it'll keep you in the loop. So that's in the description box too. Other than that, have a wonderful day, lots of love, and I'll speak to you soon.